All right, good morning. Welcome to the Marshall County Board of Supervisors regular session here on April 24th, 9 a.m. in the first floor meeting room. The Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You're requested to approach the podium right over here. Use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks that others may be given the opportunity to speak. And that is for the recording, not necessarily for amplifying in here, is the microphone. So the board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call will follow. Start with a roll call, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
All right. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I would make a motion.
I will
Approve
second
the
that.
agenda.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
Service awards today. 5 years for Joseph Page in the Sheriff's Office Patrol Deputy. I see that the sheriff is not here at the time, so is there any comments in regards to 5 full years for Joseph Page in the Sheriff's Department? Well, we thank him for his 5 years of work. We hope that there's 5 times 5 times 5 more years to come, and we appreciate anyone that definitely puts their life out on the line out there protecting us out in the county. So thank you to Joe and Joseph and all of his work out there. On to the consent. And the sheriff is here to speak upon
Speak.
Joseph Page for his 5 years of patrol.
Sheriff Joe Phillips, Marshall County. Mr. Page, Deputy Page, he's been a great asset to Marshall County. He's taken on several roles in his 5 years. He is a member of the joint SWAT team with the Marshtown Police Department. He's also one of our FTOs, our field training officers. So he's tasked with training new deputies to train them to be deputies in Marshall County Sheriff's Office. So.
Very good.
Excellent.
All right,
Well,
thanks.
thanks very much, Sheriff. And thanks again to Joseph Page. The consent agenda, approve claims as audited, and authorize the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of the claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the current month will be published as part of the first meeting of the following month. Personnel changes, approve new hires, Marshall County Attorney's Office. Haley Kesey, Assistant County Attorney at $74,500 annual salary to start on or after August 1st, 2024. And Jessica Maston, Administrative Assistant, $17.85 per hour to start on or after May 1st, 2024. Approved new hires of Marshall County Sheriff's Department. Dylan Ganaway, full-time jailer, $23.19 per hour to start on or after April 29th, 2024. 6C, file auditor recorder's quarterly report, October through December 2023, total of $64,883.99. And then file the auditor recorder's quarterly report for January through March 2024, total of $60,595.99. File manure management plans, Larson site number 67141 at 37890, 160th Street, St. Anthony, signed with changes. Marco Pork number 61016 at 1131, 140th Street, St. Anthony, signed with no changes. PI 341, finisher number 67142 at 1422 Davidson Avenue, St. Anthony, signed with no changes. And Providence 36, number 68849 at 29575, 335th Street, there, New Providence, signed with changes. And that today is the end of our consent agenda. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
All second.
We have the motion and the second. Do we have any discussion, comments?
Just a question maybe for Jordan and for Joel, are you fully staffed now, or do we still have vacant positions?
Appreciate the question. We will not be fully staffed. So Jessica will fill in our last administrative assistant spot because we had Lisa Crouch slide over into victim witness coordinator when we had Edie Ryerson retire. And then we are currently down 2 attorneys because we had one retire at the end of last year. And then we had one leave to go take a position in federal court. So this attorney, we have it, it's a little different because we have it structured for her to start in August. She's currently in Lawrence, Kansas. She has to graduate. She has to take the bar, and then sometime in August, she'll move back up to Iowa, and then she'll start with us. So we'll have one more position to try to fill, and maybe see if we can find some creative solutions in the meantime before we fill it. But that's where we stand right now. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for asking.
Joel Phillips, Sheriff. For the sworn positions, we are fully staffed. However, we do have a retirement. We do have in writing, be July 6th, I believe. So we will be down 1 deputy at that time, and we have tentatively 2 retirements in January 25. So we currently have a civil service list that has 1 eligible applicant on it. I believe it's due to expire in September, and that applicant is also a jailer. So for the jail division, we do have 2 open positions, and those are female positions. So we are hiring for female jailers. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And good job working on getting those positions filled. Hiring's always one more thing to do on top of the list of things that you guys do, so appreciate that. Any other further questions, discussion on the consent agenda?
No.
All right, we have a motion and a second on that. Roll call vote, please.
Kyle,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
All right, resolution 2024-18, approving appointment of Kaylee Kesey to the position of Assistant County Attorney in the Office of County Attorney. Now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Supervisors approves the appointment of Kaylee Kesey to the position of Assistant County Attorney in the Office of County Attorney effective August 1st, 2024. This resolution shall be in effect after approval and signature of the Board Chairman as required by law, adopted this 24th day of April 2024. I'll entertain motions.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-0018, approving appointment of Kaylee Kesey in the position of Assistant County Attorney in the Office of the County Attorney.
I'll second that.
All right, we have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes. All right, resolution 2024-19, moving permits, whereas the Board of Supervisors is empowered under the authority of Section 321.1 of the Code of Iowa to issue permits for the movement of machines, vehicles, or loads and combinations thereof, which exceed the maximum dimensions and or weights specified in 321.453 to 321.466, but within the limitations of Chapter 321E upon secondary roads under their jurisdictions. And whereas it is important that such permits be issued by persons familiar with the statutes and regulations relating to such permits, and also with the limitations of the county's roadways, road services, and structures along the selected or designated routes, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Supervisors, that the Marshall County Engineer and the following named employees of Secondary Road Department be authorized to issue and sign special permits for movement of vehicles of excessive size and weight upon Marshall County secondary roads in accordance with said Chapter 321E. Named employees: Paul Geilenfeld, Bruce Deacon, Lisa Reeder, and Jill Tompkins. Adopted this 24th day of April 2024.
Paul Geilenfeld, County Engineer. This is just the same resolution that we normally would do right at the beginning of the year to authorize the people that can issue moving permits for oversized, overweight vehicles from our office. And I am happy to report that Bruce Deacon did come to our office on the 15th, and more importantly, he came back for day 2. So we will get him added to this resolution. So that's all this really does. It's a repeat of a beginning of year resolution.
I will make the motion that we adopt Resolution 2024-0019 pertaining to moving permits.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Thanks for redoing this for us, Paul. Roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Heil,
Yes. Resolution 2024-20, abatement of real estate taxes. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 445-16, Code of Iowa, the county treasurer has the authority to determine when it is impractical to pursue collection of property tax through tax or lawsuit remedies. Whereas upon making the determination, the county treasurer shall provide a recommendation of abatement to the board of supervisors. The board shall abate the following mobile home taxes: 919 South Center Street, Marshtown, parcel 841835377015 for current taxes during the property tax year 2022 in the amount of $497, which includes penalty and interest. Now, therefore, it be resolved, the Marshall County Board of Supervisors, that the amount due be abated by the county treasurer is directed to strike amounts due from the county system. Adopted this 24th day of April 2024. Yeah.
Hi, Deanne Tomlinson, Marshall County Treasurer. I don't think we've had one of these since I became treasurer, so just a little explanation. It's actually a court order awarding the property to the city of Marshalltown, and they use code 657A10B, which is pretty specific, telling us that we will abate the taxes. So I did just do a mock apportionment, and that's, the county portion would have been $114, so.
And is that real estate taxes?
Real estate taxes.
Okay.
Yes.
And for that resolution, I think we'll just amend where it says mobile home taxes to real estate.
Yeah.
Whoever makes the motion on that,
Okay.
and then we'll be good to go.
Okay.
Any other questions for Deanne? Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
So I will make the motion that we adopt Resolution 2024-0020 regarding the abatement of real estate taxes with the amendment, changing it to from mobile home to real estate.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
Heil,
Yes. All right, on to public forum. The time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Come on up.
Good morning, Kim Elder, Emergency Management Coordinator. Just an update on the siren project. The last of the 10 sirens and 3 digipeters should go in today. Weather looks good, so that's good. We had a couple of days backed up because of weather last week, but they worked through quite a bit of the rain. There will be a gap from the time that they finish today until we put the rest of the backbone, the communication part of it, into the comm center and the jail, about 2 weeks. That gives them time to work through the electricity being hooked up to the poles that are out there now, testing those poles, making sure that the siren and the digipeters work, and also having the people come in that do the technological stuff in the background. So basically those sirens will not be activated during that gap. So it could be a couple weeks, could be a little more than a couple weeks, depending on how long it takes to install the backbone part of it, the technology part of it. So I have alerted the jurisdictions that have the new sirens, just letting them know, just because it's there doesn't mean it's gonna activate just yet. It takes a little bit of time, so I've been trying to put out to the public too, and reminding those jurisdictions to remind the residents that, you know, that's just part of the tools that they can use for storm warnings. And so I've just really been publishing that so that people don't rely on that siren just yet. To remind them that it's an outdoor warning system, for indoor warning, to use apps, local media, not to rly on social media because that's not quick enough for warnings, that kind of thing. And then NOAA weather radios, to sign up for Alert Iowa. So just kind of putting that word out there. Wanted to do it again here so that, again, it's published and people realize that those won't be operational just yet. We're getting there though, getting close.
Have we, oh, go ahead, Steve.
Did all the poles end up working out their electrical issues or?
Yeah, yep. We had a couple of new elected officials in positions that weren't sure how the process worked for their jurisdiction, and we worked all that out. So everything's installed. The electrical is to most, I would say, a little bit more than half of the poles and the digipeters, and the rest are being worked on fairly quickly. So yeah, so it looks good.
Do I remember one of them is going to be battery operated?
There is one that is, they're all battery backup.
Right.
There's one that's generator driven instead of electrical driven.
Okay.
That's Liscum, and so that one works a little bit differently. But yeah, all of them will have battery backup, so, which is typical. The legacy ones like Marshalltown, LeGrand, they have battery backup too. So if you do lose electrical, you don't lose that warning system.
How long are the battery backups good for?
I think the warranty is either 3 or 4 years, but they trickle charge. They're like a marine battery, so they're constantly charging themselves.
So
We've
if
seen it
power's
last-
out, how long will they last?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
understand
no,
that
that's
part.
okay.
Usually they'll last enough to run it through several cycles of your warning.
Okay.
You know, if you're looking at days, if you're not running them nonstop during those days, you'll have a little bit of charge there to run it, but it's not gonna run continuously, obviously. So if we had back-to-back storms during an outage, you're gonna run it down. If you don't have any warnings during that time, you know, and you've still got battery backup, so it all depends on how many times we're running that siren
During that
off of
time.
that, yeah, to drain that battery.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just depends. And then once that backbone's installed, right now it's a couple of different ways, the way those sirens are set off. There's some that were still manual, the really old ones that they could go up and push a button. It's not quite that simple, but they could do that locally. That's not the case now because all the electronics and everything are encased into a metal case that's farther up on the pole, safety-wise, you know, because there's radio systems in there too. So they're not set off locally, although they can be with a radio system like some of the newer old ones. And then there's the comm center, which sets them off currently. The communications center does that, will have that system in, and then there's the backup. So that's why we have that jail piece. The emergency management office, my office, will have a computer very similar to what the communications center has, where it constantly reads with those digipeters. It talks back to that computer and tells the system if there's something wrong, which is nice. So we can see that without a test. They're constantly reporting back what their status is. So that can be recorded. We can do reports on that. And then I'm not there 24/7, thank goodness, but jailers are. So there's a wire basically run from my office all the way to the jail. That was quite the challenge. But they have basically a quick push button. So if we were to say comm center's down for whatever reason, I'm not there, they can actually activate. So we have 3 or 4 different ways. There'll also be an app with all the new things that basically 4 different people will have. And it'll be myself, Rhonda at the comm center, and then Joel and Ben will have it at the sheriff's office. So there's multiple ways, which will be handy to, you know, just because if we have something going on that's affected our electrical system or our communication system. So a lot of backups, a lot of redundancy. I like that. And we're able to still set them off individually or as a combined set. So, yeah, pretty exciting. So as we get through this grant, we do have an extension coming out for the next board meeting. We went ahead and extended it, even though June is I think June 3rd is our deadline right now. We extended it into August, just so that we can get through all the checks and paperwork that we have to do for FEMA to make sure that it's all done correctly, and so we do have that extension. But anything that gets added on siren-wise after this will just basically be that siren, making sure that it works with the system, and anyone in the county can install one to go into this and just tie right into it, which would be nice. All right.
Thanks, Kim.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim.
I've got a couple items.
Excellent, thanks.
So the first item, last meeting, and we'll have something on the consent agenda, but we've just found out Our Savior Lutheran Church will be our new polling location for Ward 3. We went and met with them, and there will be no cost for us to use that location. It's at 3001 South 6th Street. For those of you that are slightly older and was around when Skate Town was around, it's the church right across from where Skate Town used to be. They were very receptive to the idea. The pastor there, when he was up at Ellsworth, said they used the church there for a polling location, so he was very used to that process. And so Lucas went with us as well for the equipment drop-off and pickup. It's probably going to be one of our best polling locations. We had another church also in that location that actually got back to us. They met this Sunday. They were also receptive to the same thing. It's just they were a little behind of the other one. So I will be meeting with them and thanking them also. They would have done the same thing. So I was very pleased that, and that was First Friends Church. So it was really great to see the hospitality of those two churches just, open their doors for us that way. There's a lot of politics involved with this change. It's very interesting. We cannot send postcards out according to code until May 20th. But we're going to work really hard with the newspaper and radios and, get things out on social media and our website trying to communicate this. But we have to wait until then to do our mailing. I guess it's very backwards to me, but we'll follow our rules and do that. But just wanted to communicate that we do have our new location. Also, just kind of a follow-up to our, you did a proclamation for April being Sexual Assault Awareness Month. For voting, we have the Safe at Home program that the Secretary of State does, so our office is wearing denim, so she's sporting her jacket. I'm wearing jeans today, so we're doing the denim in our office for that Safe at Home program. If you're not familiar with that, it's somebody that's trying to keep their voting private because that is public record. They can reach out to the Secretary of State. They reach out to us to get the proper ballot. We mail it to them. So we really have no idea who is voting. So it's a very interesting program in that respect, and we usually have one in our county that does so. So that is what we're recognizing with our denim today.
Great. Sounds like we found our savior for voting location.
Yeah.
Paul Geilenfeld, County Engineer. Just wanted to give you guys an update and ask the public for some help. But we are having an incredible amount of tires being dumped in our right of way and garbage in general. But for some reason, the tires are just everywhere, it seems like. And we're not talking about a couple dozen tires. We have taken back over 30 tons of tires this year. Okay, I can't even tell you how many that is, but it is well over $10,000 worth of tires for us to get rid of, and I'm not sure why the uptick this year, but it seems worse than any year I've seen for tire dumping, and we're all paying for it. Every one of us that pays taxes in any way. If you buy gas anywhere, you're helping us cover the tire cost. But it's one of those deals where if anybody if you see somebody with a truckload of tires that doesn't say Marshall County Highway Department on it, there's a good chance they're going to get delivered to your right of way somewhere. It's just, I don't even know, I can't really explain it, but the last one that we have at near Dunbar, there's over 200 tires in that pile. We will have to send guys out with a skid loader and trucks and load it up. Yeah.
Is there a part of the county, is it happening all over the county?
It seems like it's more the northeast quadrant. Would you agree, Joel, that that's the most prevalent of where they're at? but Dunbar, southeast. and
Yeah.
Have you heard
it's-
from, would it be Grundy and or Tama County? Are they having that same problem since it's up that way, or is it just?
I haven't reached out to, I don't know if there's other counties that are having it.
They don't seem to be having the problem that we are. And there's maybe some information, obviously, they're out of county, culprits or suspects that may be doing this also. So, it's been a couple years ago, we caught some individuals from Des Moines driving a truck up, disposing tires in our county. So it's just one of those things where once they find a spot, and they get away with it. But this particular year, it's been very random. It could be in the middle of the day. It's just, there's no pattern to it to where we can articulate spending extra patrols, which we already are in those areas. But it's pretty random.
What is the fine, or
It's a simple misdemeanor.
Just a
So,
simple misdemeanor.
Simple misdemeanor. And then obviously there'll be, could attach to a criminal case, the cleanup cost, which could be several thousands of dollars. Time and labor. but-
you can, those people can pay for that?
Yes,
They can be.
yep, and that'll be
required to
after a
pay for that.
conviction, a successful conviction.
Okay.
For the most part, we do typically this time of year have a larger amount of garbage dumps in the county. A lot of that's spring cleanups, landlords, the eviction's been coming out. Sometimes the landlords will hire third-party individuals to clean out these properties for a cost and save the fees from the landfill. Obviously, sometimes these individuals find their way out in the county in our road ditches. So most of the time, if we find these, who it belongs to, we run them down, give them an option to pick it up completely. Or otherwise, we will continue to look for those individuals and they'll be cited in a court on a criminal complaint. So there's a lot this year, especially with the tires.
Yeah.
We've had anywhere from electronic equipment to furniture. Furniture's a big one that we've been finding, so we're looking for those vehicles that are containing anything leaving the city limits of Marshalltown or coming to our rural areas that don't belong. And we've had some pretty good help from from the rural citizens on, hey, this vehicle doesn't belong here. It's just find them in the right place, the right time.
Good luck.
Thank you for bringing that to attention. Yeah, and if anyone sees anything, call the sheriff's office. Any tip to help us get to the bottom of this would be great. So,
Veterans Affairs received a new van yesterday,
how about that?
so we're
Yay.
excited about that.
Have you test driven it yet?
Haven't test driven, but I have a key to it now, so I will soon.
Any other public comment? Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody. On to adjournment. The next regular session is Wednesday, May 8th at 9 a.m. here in the courthouse floor meeting room, 1 East Main Street. All business to be acted upon that session should be submitted to the auditor and recorder's office or board of supervisors office by Wednesday, May 1st at noon. There being no further business come before the board, meeting is adjourned this morning at 9:28 a.m. Make it a great day. Thank you.